Hey girl, hey. So
Hi.
I decided to do something a little bit different in my content. And now I want to tell you guys about how I used to be a voodoo priestess, a voodoo
Okay,
high priestess. I practiced voodoo, hoodoo,
I can see
and
that.
everything like that. So back in 2015, like right after I had my son, I ended up like I don't want to say dibbling and dabbling because I've always been like magically inclined to where I always, wanted to do spells. Like ever since I started seeing, remember that movie The Craft and
Mm,
Matilda and stuff like that. Like you might be a little bit witchy if you used to really like gravitate towards those things. But as a kid, I can say like I've always been like a master manifester. So much so to where I can say something, just say something. I don't have to do anything, no rituals, burn no candles, nothing. And it'll come to fruition. Now, mind you, when I was a kid and I used to speak like that, like anything I wanted, and it would just come out of my mouth, of course, back then, um, it would take a lot longer for it to come into fruition. Like, I might say something like, oh, I want to move to Atlanta because, I'm from LA and I'm like, oh, I want to move to Georgia. I want to move to Atlanta. So it ended up happening like 2, 3 years later, but it ended up happening.
mm-hmm.
And just other instances like that to where I've always been like
You spoken into existence.
knowledgeable. Like I always knew things like before, they happened. Like I used to have dreams about stuff. I could manifest things just using my mouth, like et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, we get it.
But after
We get it.
my son was born in 2015. In 2016, like I started really getting into like spell work, witchcraft, like new age um stuff. And I wouldn't say Wiccan because it definitely wasn't Wiccan, but back then there wasn't that much stuff about voodoo, especially hoodoo. Like I had no idea what hoodoo was when I first started. But I started getting into it a little bit more, and I joined this Facebook group
Oh
with
Lord.
this couple that was running this big hoodoo group. I won't say their names. Like, I don't know, I don't know if they're okay with that. But I'm not going to say their names. But it was a couple, it was a white couple. They were from like the bayou in Louisiana, right? And they were so great. They was a bit older than me, and they had like a big group that was like really growing and growing. And that was the first experience that I pretty much had, you know, starting and getting into witchcraft where I could ask my questions, other people would ask questions. But then I started noticing that I was kind of like rising up in the ranks, so to speak, in the group because I was commenting the most, I was asking the most questions, like, and they really started acknowledging me X, Y,
Mm-hmm.
and Z. So I started posting stuff that I was doing, like I was posting, the spells that I would do, the rituals that I would do. I would post that in the group, and I'd get their feedback, and it started like people started coming to me in my inbox like, hey, can you do this for me, can you do that for me, can you, I'll pay you, can you do this ritual for me? And I'm like, wait a minute, like I was just now like really learning things
Okay.
about it. So it was kind of weird to me and crazy to me that people were already coming to me and wanting me to do stuff for them, right? So fast forward a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, when I first started in this group, in this hoodoo group, it was mostly white folks, right? So much so to where there was this woman and she was Russian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was calling herself like a priestess in ATR, which is African traditional
Oh
religions,
Lord.
right? So put a pin in that. That's another story for another time, okay?
I thought you
But
was
so I'm in
crushing
this group.
gold
It's
for a second.
mostly white folks. Then, like, other black girls started like coming into the group. Black people started coming into the group, and everything like that. I don't know if it was because I can say that I influenced a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
to start, doing voodoo
Right.
and hoodoo, but I'm gonna explain more. But so black folks started coming into the group more, which I was loving because traditionally hoodoo is supposed to be an African American like cultural,
Right.
I guess, religion, if you want to say, or path,
I was
spiritual
shocked.
path. So more black folks started coming into the group, And although I was loving it, because, I didn't really want to be around like only white folks, like, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
when, when all of the more black people and more black people started joining, the group started getting more like racial undertones, like racially motivated, to where the black folks was kind of telling the white folks, like, hey, like, y'all not supposed to be practicing this. This is for black African American people only. It's a closed practice. You can't practice this. So
Mm-hmm.
the group started getting a little bit, racially, motivated in undertones, like I said. So, of course, like, I'm going to side. So, of course, if it come down to it, I'm going to choose my people. Like, I'm going to, choose black folks. So, this girl, end up was like, let's make our own group. So we ended up doing
Oh
that.
Lord.
Y'all, it was popping so severely. Like, we had like almost 20,000 members like in that group. It was popping so severely. We was getting money. We was getting so much money because we was doing spiritual products, oils, and other things like that. People was paying us to do like root work and spell work for them and everything. And it was jumping back, like it was working. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, when I would do stuff for other people, it would jump back, like it really would. So, we was getting money and everything, and we was kind of getting a little clout, like a little buzz. Like, at one point in time, a bitch felt like Beyonce, because I would wake up and it would just
Not
be like
Beyonce.
rumors about me, you know, in the spiritual community. Like, people was talking shit, like, it, praising me and talking shit. There were some people that was praising me, and there was some people that was talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, every day, like,
What the
that's
site
how,
for?
like, kind of low key famous we was, like, in the spiritual community at that time. So the other girl, Brianna, she started to like get slick jealous or whatever. Like, she was getting jealous that, people was paying so much attention to me,
Really?
like, that people felt like really I was the leader instead of both of us. Like, they started calling me Queen Bee and everything like that. And she really didn't like that, because it can't be two queens in one castle. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
she started like doing just like funny shit. Like, every time she get mad at me, she'll kick me out the group and block me out the
Mm.
group, block me, everything like that. Yeah, and I'm like, bitch, how the fuck you gonna kick me out of my own group? Like,
Our group,
this is
right?
just weird. So, but she just started doing stuff. Then she come to her senses and come back and, be like, oh, I'm sorry, come back, like, come back to the group. And she had did this maybe about 3 times, maybe like a good 3 times, and she had kicked me out and blocked me and everything, and then try to come
Sometimes
back,
too many.
because she didn't really know what she was doing. Like, I didn't either, but I was learning, and when I learned, I teach other people what I learned. You know what I'm saying? So I was a big, I guess, spiritual guru, I guess you could say, in those days at that time. So basically, she kept doing that. She did it like 3 times. After the third time she did it, I just went and made my own group. So this group was called the
Oh
Hoodoo Honeys. The,
Lord.
the group that I was in before was called Hoodoo Booze. So this time I just decided I was going to do it by myself. So I went, did it by myself, got my own little group. This group started popping severely, right? So, now we got that one group that's popping. Now we got this group now that's popping. So because she got mad at me for going to go make my own group, the girl Brianna in the other group, it was like she was my arch nemesis. She went from like my best friend to like my arch nemesis. Like, she wanted to do everything I was doing. She would steal everything that I was doing and put it in her group.
Oh.
She had like little undercover people, like little mole agents that was in my group, just to kind of scout and see what's going on, and then take it and run, tell that, and run, tell her what we're doing so that she could do the same things. Like, it was damn near like we was in a witch war. Like, it was crazy, which I've been in a whole bunch of witch wars, but again,
So what you
that's another story
fighting?
for another time. But
Right, right.
so I'm, just trying to mind my own business, build my own platform by myself that can't nobody kick me out of, that can't nobody, you know what I'm saying, be playing all those games, because I'm like, bitch,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not finna keep playing with you, because at that point you messing up my money. And when you play with my money, you play with my emotions. You know what I'm saying? So she got mad. We, be going back and forth or whatever, and then it started to become really evident in the spiritual community that, like, it was beef between me and her. It was a very public
Mm.
falling out, if you will, okay? So anyways, so I'm making my own group, I'm doing my own thing. Now, mind you, it was not just that group or that girl that started having like animosity towards me. So it was a lot of like most of the time it was women who would pretend to be my friend, you know, because the favor that comes with me, and because like a bitch know how to do magic, and a bitch know how to make some shit happen, like for real in real life. Okay, IRL. Okay. But then they start getting jealous of me, and then they start turning on me and shit. So I started, you know, really falling back from it a little bit. Like I started like not being as, I guess, active in it as I was, because it's like you bitches just don't like me for no reason. Like you'll find something in your mind, or the first time I tell you no, I'm not gonna do that, or the first time I tell you no, that nigga not for you, I'm not gonna do no love spell for you, or you know, you need to do some self love work. You need to. So you know, me and these girls would always fall out because it got to a point where as soon as I say no to something, you know, they'll get mad, turn on me, start trying to throw hexes and curses, everything like that. So anyway.